This week on the show, we have a new king stomping into theaters. We talk about Dark Phoenix and New Mutants. Still a thing?
Apparently.
All right. We're back. Welcome to the Grizzled Geek Podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
And we're here, as usual, with your weekly wrap-up of nerd news, everything you need to know, what all the nerds are talking about. Well, the ones we know.
Yeah.
Kirsten couldn't be with us this week.
She will join us at some point. But.
Yeah, she's got some kind of family dinner thing going on. She was going to give us a rundown of
Phoenix Fan Fusion,
formerly known as
Phoenix Comic-Con. Yeah. I'm still going to call it that.
I don't care.
In unofficial circles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, today's show, we have some news. The big news, Godzilla's opening this week. Opens tonight, in fact.
Yes, it does.
So we're not going to see it, though. So
at least not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon.
Too much stuff going on.
Too much stuff going on, like getting this podcast put together. Godzilla King of Monsters. This might be one of the biggest divides between critics and audience, in a while.
Yeah.
So critics did not like this. In fact, it debuted with a testing it. Yeah, we're live.
Yeah.
56% on Rotten Tomatoes.
From critics.
Yeah. Right. I mean, audience haven't seen it yet.
So. Yeah. Well, I mean, first shows are happening right now.
Yeah, true.
So,
in fact, the critics are calling it. Some of them are saying it's the worst American Godzilla film, which will include the Matthew Broderick 1998 one.
I was say, did they see that one?
Yeah. That's pretty bad. I mean,
that was guys stomping around in big rubber suits is better than that one. So,
yay. Yes.
I don't know.
See, the biggest criticism that they're throwing out about it is that there's too much of the monsters and not enough of the humans, which is the exact opposite of the criticism the last Godzilla had.
That sounds like it sounds like critics. Like, shut up. Sometimes we just want to watch a movie that's a bunch of monsters fighting each other.
Right.
With a very thin veneer of a story on top of it.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's just...
I don't need...
Everyone's saying, like, yeah, well, the humans don't get much, even... We've seen the critics talk about it, like, yeah, the ones even liked it. They're like, well, the human part was kind of goofy at times. It was kind of in the background. I'm like, yeah, that's the way it should be. This is a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
It's Godzilla King of Monsters. This is him fighting all the big monsters. We just need the very thinnest story of the human part to tie it all together.
Right, yeah.
And then we get to see him fight monsters. I mean, come on now. I don't know. But with all this critical backlash, was that going to hurt it at the box office? Apparently not. Nothing can stop Godzilla. It's expected to stomp all over Aladdin with an impressive 235 million world opening. So,
I think people nowadays don't really listen to critics.
Less and less, definitely.
It's just most critics. I mean, I think a lot of people will have their favorite critic who thinks along their lines, and then they listen to those people. But let's face it, most critics are just potential douchebags. Potential. That's not what I meant. Pretentious.
Yes.
Douchebags.
There we go.
You're just like.
You meant the douchebag part, not
yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, they're just whatever. It's just go see a movie if you want to see a movie.
Right.
Don't
except
worry
for us.
about what
Listen
they
to
say.
us when we review movies because that's important. We're not pretentious.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, obviously they're doing spoiler-free reviews that are just kind of we're judging this on its artistic merit or whatever. Whereas these kind of reviews, the YouTube type of reviews, are people like going in depth, talking about what they liked and what they didn't like, and that's a little more genuine.
Right.
Because then you can point to specific examples, and then people can decide, do you agree with that or not?
Right.
So.
But I don't know. Godzilla is the perfect summer movie, seems to me. Like, this is just big monster fights, explosions. There's not, I'm not going to Godzilla looking for, like, an awesome story.
Yeah.
Right? I'm looking for giant monsters fighting, and it sounds like we get that in spades. So I'm excited about it. And from the predictions here, it doesn't sound like anyone else is worried about it either.
Yeah.
Just the critics. So I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I want to see it.
Right.
It's one of.
Did you like the last one?
Yeah, it was good.
The first one? Okay.
It was. I mean, I had that criticism. There was too little of the monsters, too much of the human drama.
Right.
So, I'd like to see a balanced, back and forth, but I do want it to lean more towards the monsters. So I'm happy to hear that. They might see it as negative. I see it as a positive.
Yep. Shane tells us we sound better today, which is right. We actually have the mics working this time.
Yeah.
So
we're not just talking to the camera and hoping its mic picks it up.
Yeah, hoping it picks it up. And we're on time. So that's definitely we say new and improved Grizzled Geek Podcast. We mean it.
Leaps and bounds.
Every episode's going to improve. So hopefully now we're going to do something to improve next time.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Remember our lines. All right. All right, Doug, what's our next story?
Oh, finally. For all you who've been waited with anticipation, breathless anticipation.
Bated breath.
Dark Phoenix is out next week. It's come out that the major reshoots it went through were to completely change the ending of the movie.
It's always a good sign.
Yeah, which originally happened in space, and now the new ending's on a military train. Why the change? Actor James McAvoy said the ending was too similar to another movie. And this is a quote. The end changed a hell of a lot. The finale had to change. There was a lot of overlap and parallels with another superhero movie that came out a while ago. And we had no idea that we were, at this point, Michael Fassbender interjects, humorously adding, they had spies on set and basically stole our ideas.
Yeah. So it sounds like McAvoy was about ready to he got the impression he was a little frustrated.
Yeah.
It sounded like he was, about to say more than he probably should. And
right.
Fassbender was there to step in.
All right. So the speculation now might be that it was Captain Marvel that sparked the.
Yeah. Came out recently, which is about what he was going to say.
Now, does that line up with when the reshoots happened? Because I thought the reshoots happened a lot earlier than when Captain Marvel came out.
Well, reshoots happened before the Disney merger went through, but after Disney, it was going to happen.
Okay.
And so Disney already had some influence.
Oh, got it.
Over what's going on.
All right. So I can see that then.
They could say, hey, if you want this movie to come out, we need to make these changes.
All this line says to me is that their original ending wasn't the original ending it should have been if you were going to be in space. It wasn't them on the blue side of the moon and, fighting in a ancient Kree base or whatever,
Right, yeah.
So I don't care.
I don't care. Can you muster up any excitement for this movie?
I'll see it. Not probably I'm not going to go opening day, most likely. I do want to see it though, just to see what happens.
Clearly,
just
they
to see
didn't
the
know
train wreck.
What was going to happen with the whole Disney Fox merger. However, I really wished Logan would have been the bow out for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing:
universe.
If let's take this at face value, there was some sort of battle in space.
Mm.
Why? Why are the X-Men in space? I mean, I see the original idea where they go. I think this is straight from the comics, where they go and try and help.
They try
and go help astronauts who are in trouble.
Yes.
And that's when they get hit with the Phoenix Force.
That's in the movie.
Yeah. Well, I think that's from the comics. So that makes sense. But why would you have the X-Men in space at any other point in the movie for any reason?
If you're not
including the Shi'ar.
Yeah. That whole part of the storyline.
Yeah. And it doesn't, from everything we've been shown so far, it doesn't look like that was the case. That was going to be the case. There's no sign of any aliens.
I don't know. From the very beginning, I don't know why you're trusting Kinberg to write and direct this movie when he's the one that gave us the last version of this.
The Last Stand.
So, I mean, now granted, he wanted to make up for that, but I mean, that was, his first instinct was Last Stand. Now, I don't know.
Yeah, so.
And it's just sad. This is the last time we're going to see these characters. This version of these characters.
Yeah, here's the thing is, I generally really have no connection to these characters. I like McAvoy and Fassbender.
Mm-hmm.
They make excellent versions of the younger versions of those characters.
Yeah.
But the students, I could care less. I don't. Whatever.
Are there any of them you like?
I mean, I like Jennifer Lawrence as an actress, but I don't like that they made Mystique a good guy, because at no point in her past was she a good guy. So that was just weird. And yeah, none of the other cast do I really give that much.
I don't really care about.
I don't care.
I like who they got for Night. I like.
The guy who playing Nightcrawler looks cool.
Although he hasn't had much screen time, really. Yeah. So I don't know much, about him. So.
And they didn't even bring Olivia Munn back for this one, did they?
No Psylocke in this one.
No Psylocke. So I mean.
Yep.
I don't care.
I don't care. Well.
They need to. Yeah. I mean, this is good. Just get it out. Leave it. Now, the only problem with it is it means we're going to have to wait probably 5-6 years before we get a rebooted X-Men in the MCU, because they're going to want to put distance between this and any kind of introduction they do to those characters.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to handle that.
It's just, I don't know. Just weird. And now we know, and now we had to go back and completely get reshot. So the ending was not what was anticipated for the first part of the movie. When they go in and make changes like that, it's always, especially when they're bringing somebody else to rewrite it, then it makes it difficult.
Yeah.
But if you don't care about Dark Phoenix, let's go into another X-Men, the last of the X-Men universe movies, New Mutants. Wow, it's still coming out, according to producer Adam Kinberg, who's on his press tour for Dark Phoenix. Which, by the way, Dark Phoenix comes out next week. Does it seem like that? I mean, has there been a big market push?
Yeah, there's been quite a bit of more commercials for it.
Okay. I haven't seen much, but I was like...
There's, I tend to play YouTube on a continuous loop while I'm working, and X-Men commercials come up relatively frequently, so...
Got it. Okay, well, New Mutants got pushed again. Now it's been pushed back more times than Dark Phoenix. It's gonna be it's pushed back to 2020.
Okay.
But
which isn't all that long away when you think about it.
But it is 4 years from when it started filming.
Yeah, true. Okay.
And when you're dealing with teenagers,
that's the problem. Is if you have to do any reshoots, which they're supposedly still going to do, those kids are 4 years older.
So the update we got on it is that Disney is releasing it. Now we assumed Disney was going to dump this movie out as is, either on a streaming service somewhere.
Oh right, okay.
Just kind of recoup whatever money they can on it. Although they didn't spend the money on it.
Yeah.
So this is all part of the whole deal with Fox that they bought. So they paid their money for Fox. This is what part of the things they got. So it's not like they're out any money.
Right.
If they shelved this thing and it never saw the light of day, they're not out any more money.
Yeah.
But I mean, you want to start making some money back on this. So producer Simon Kinberg says they have reshoots planned for this year, but he also went on basically kind of like half slamming Fox, half praising Disney about what. And then
Kinberg
did, yeah. He was basically saying that Disney's great because they plan into the budget and to production time for reshoots. It was like, why didn't we think of that? We weren't that smart. I'm like, really? You buy that because every studio they say reshoots are common for all these movies,
right?
And if I don't know, this sounds like that doesn't make much sense.
Well, but Fox did have to get bought by somebody.
That is true. So that is
maybe
true.
They're not that smart.
That tells you something. But he did say the reshoots, the delay was where they were trying to figure out what the reshoots were going to be and trying to get the cast back together with the two main problems, which means they didn't know what they wanted to reshoot to make this movie. Because if you go back in the Wayback Machine here, when his first movie came out, we got a trailer that was kind of dark.
Right.
People responded to the trailer. The movie wasn't as dark as the trailer suggested. So they tried to go back and go all right, we want this movie darker. Go back and make it a horror movie. Okay. So first round of reshoots, went back and cutting. They basically added a whole new character into the mix. So they had to do reshoots with adding a whole new character into it and making it darker. And then apparently test audiences hated the darker version of it. So they're like, okay, we need to go back. We want less horror. But those reshoots never got made. So we don't know where it's at. What does Disney want with this, right? So now that Disney's incomplete.
All right, we're gonna have reshoots of the whole movie.
So they had to figure out the reason why they got delayed is because they didn't know what reshoots they wanted to do. They didn't know what they wanted this movie to be. Whether reshooting the whole movie, the whole ending or what.
That is when you scrap a movie.
That's when you
start
scrap a
over.
movie. Yeah, you're like, come on. Because no matter what they do, you got to think about this. Now, some of the older actors will be fine, but some of the young, like the teenage actors, are no longer teenagers.
Right.
4 years is a long time from the first time they filmed. So if you got to do back-to-back scenes with someone who's aged 4 years,
right? And you might make the argument that there are a lot of people who are in their 20s that play teenagers, but they don't
start off playing them as teenagers.
Start as teenagers and then shift to playing them in their 20s. That doesn't work.
If you don't think you changed a lot from your teens to your 20s, go back and check your yearbooks. There's quite a big difference. In your 20s, 4 years doesn't really matter. Definitely in your 30s and 40s, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But from teenage to 20, that's a big difference. Marvel is clearly in control at this point. They're in control of production. So there's a lot of speculation about this being the first mutant movie in the MCU. Like if they go back and change it, because I like the actors. For who they're playing.
Yeah, it's still a poor introduction to the idea of mutants.
I agree.
And the MCU.
That's why I don't buy it personally, is because Kevin Feige is very particular. This thing has been planned out.
He's not going to shoehorn this into their schedule and into their universe just because they have it laying around.
He's not going to want the first introduction of the most highly anticipated introduction to the Marvel Universe, the X-Men.
Yeah.
To be this failed movie that they have to reshoot to get out there. So I don't know what the reshoots are doing. I don't know. I know Marvel is in charge of it now. Who knows what's going to happen with this movie, if it's ever going to see the light of day. It is, obviously. They got a release date for it. And, now that Marvel's in charge of it now. Marvel's in charge of it and said, look, this is the release date. We're doing reshoots. So we'll see. And who they can get back.
Yeah.
If the actors, they can make the actors look like they did. If anyone can de-age, it's Marvel, though. But still, from one scene to the next, it's going to be rough.
I am pessimistic about this.
I almost want to see it as kind of like a train wreck that it is, right? I'm so curious about oh my god, what's this gonna be? But yeah, that's New Mutants.
All right. Last major news story: Avengers race to #1. We're still talking about Endgame, folks. As of today, it is just over 99 million away from passing Avatar as the highest grossing movie of all time. Last weekend, it made 22 million domestically and 31 million internationally. I believe those numbers this week
dropped. Drop 50% each week.
I think
this was the Memorial Day weekend numbers.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's now done in China too.
Yeah.
So that's the international take will probably drop quite a bit. But it also now has to compete with Godzilla, Dark Phoenix, Men in Black, and Toy Story.
That's the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
That's the gauntlet it's got to run.
So, it is expected, however, to stay in theaters all the way up to Spider-Man.
Right. Spider-Man is his bright,
Far
shining
From
hope.
Home, which is in
5 weeks.
5 weeks?
Mm-hmm. First week of July.
Oh, it's the first week of July. Okay.
Yep. So it comes out for the holiday week.
So that means in 5 weeks, it has to make about 20 million a week, approximately.
Well, they're expected to drop 50% each week.
Well, yeah.
Depending on if it can hold out. There might be, if people don't like Godzilla, they might go back and see.
Right.
If any one of these come out movies is a flop, Men in Black doesn't perform well, there could be a bump. Experts are saying in order for it to make, now, what we're talking about here is becoming the #1 movie of all time on its initial run.
Yes.
All right.
Correct.
Which would be a feat that probably won't be repeated by any movie coming out for a long, long time.
Yep.
It'll be the #1 movie of all time eventually. It's going to get re-released. It's going to be, Disney's not going to get that close.
Right. Yeah.
They want the feather in the cap.
They did that with last year. They did it with Black Panther when award season came around.
If they're pushing this for Oscars,
they will definitely
get a re-release. Now the question is whether it can do it on its initial run. Now people are saying there's still a chance it could, if it doesn't drop below 50% each week, and it makes it through weathers out the next 5 weeks, the bump from Spider-Man
Could do it.
Could push it over.
And possible disappointment with Godzilla and or Dark Phoenix could bump people, because those are the types of audiences that would go, well, that sucked, I'm gonna go see Endgame or something. So
right, so that's what it's hoping on. It's hoping either disappointing from one of those two movies, or if not both. And then, plus as it gets closer, the fans want to push it. They want to see it become number one.
That is true. Yeah, there could be a lot of repeat viewings for people who are.
Yeah, I know people that are going out to supporting it week to week.
Yeah.
So
it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I mean,
and I wonder how those subscription things work. If you're like an AMC First member, if you go and see it multiple times with your first, do those all count as part of the take?
They actually broke this down on Fandom Entertainment. We basically said, yes, those prescription services do, all the money counts because they get the full ticket price. Disney does. So the discount comes from the theater chains themselves. So AMC First, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They eat the cost of those. So, but they make it up because the movies are only a small portion of what they actually make.
In theory, you're going to buy, concessions and stuff like that, and that makes their money for them.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I have a First membership, so I might have to go see this like a dozen times.
You keep seeing it, Disney still gets the money. So
I can go 3 times a week for the next 5 weeks, 15 showings. That'll help them a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, every little bit helps, guys, when we're talking about this. So the prediction right now is it'll earn another 30 to 40 million before Spider-Man comes out, right? And then Spider-Man should push them another 20 going in after that. Still puts them in a 60 million mark.
Right.
So they still need they need something to happen there, because you're looking at, 30 million, 25 to 30 million.
Everybody goes see this 3 times a week for the next 5 weeks.
But experts also say that if it makes it within 50 million, which that'll be within 25 to 30 million, if that falls through, then a re-release will knock it over the top.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, I could see that totally.
Avengers, if you want it to be number one, go see it a couple more times.
Yeah, get out there.
Get your friends. All right. So now we'll move on to rumor talk. Ready to talk rumors?
Sure.
So all this...
They're going to make me sad, but yeah, let's talk about
them. Make you sad. Grain of salt time, folks. This is going to be complete rumors and speculation. We're going to tell you about the rumors. We're going to speculate on them, give you our take on it, and then, hope that none of this comes true. So, there was a rumor this week that Spider-Man 3 would introduce Deadpool by a couple industry, actually people from the inside basically said, Deadpool is going to be introduced in Spider-Man 3 because he's got a big bromance with Spider-Man in the comics. Actually, he's got a crush on Spider-Man in the comics, which would be creepy with Tom Holland as a teenager, and understand that probably won't want to do that. But a couple industry insiders have come out and said, no, that's not happening. That's not how Deadpool's getting introduced, unless if you're going to include Rob Liefeld as an industry insider. I don't know how much say Rob Liefeld has on anything.
No, I don't know.
Other than they drag him out because, look, you drew Deadpool. I mean, he didn't really make Deadpool like anything like we know Deadpool today.
Yeah.
But the look of Deadpool is straight from Rob Liefeld.
Yep.
They just added personality, wrists, and ankles later. So, he's saying it's not happening. But the rumor was, they got messed up, is that instead of Deadpool, it's Venom is going to be. And Sony is pushing big time for Venom to be in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, right? Now, as much as I would love Venom to be in Spider-Man, I'm not sure I want this Venom to be in Spider-Man. Yeah. Even though I like Tom Hardy, I liked his version of Venom. I don't know.
The movie was like my interpretation of it when we did our review was it wasn't as big a train wreck as I expected. Yeah. But I don't like this. There's no connection.
Yeah.
The Venom has no connection to Spider-Man. Why would you bring him into the Spider-Man? Why would you bring him into the Spider-Man movie when there is zero connection in universe?
When the connection is an afterthought.
Yes. I mean, there is a connection in the comic books. Obviously, there's a huge connection.
Yeah.
But in the movies, there's zero connection. So, Eddie Brock's not connected to...
The whole look of Venom is because of the Spider-Man.
Right.
his connection with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The symbiote's not connected to Spider-Man. Eddie Brock's not connected to Peter Parker. It's just, it just doesn't work. So please don't do that.
They could make them. Well, here's the thing: they're talking about Spider-Man 2 opening up the door for all kinds of possibilities because with the multiverse.
Yeah.
So they could actually have Venom from another universe.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that way, whatever they do or don't do with them in the future, Sony does, then it really wouldn't matter, right? Because it's not.
Yeah.
So we could have Marvel
they could have two different Venoms.
Yeah. It wouldn't really matter. That gives you, it opens the door for you to have all kinds of possibilities without having to mess with the main universe. Right?
But yes, this is the problem you run into. This is why we have Crisis on Infinite Earth and stuff like that, is because you do these things that introduce all kinds of variations on a character that then cloud the issue, make it difficult to follow the stories. And at some point, they have to do some big event to clean that mess up.
Right.
So please don't introduce that into the MCU. And I personally don't think Kevin Feige is going to allow that.
Right.
Well,
original question was, what do you think of either one of these suggestions? And obviously, we think
I don't like either.
You don't like either one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Deadpool a lot, but I want him to stay as close to his R-rated version as Disney's willing to let him go.
I want Deadpool.
And I think they actually said that when we get another Deadpool movie, it'll be R-rated, didn't they? Yeah. So you don't...
But he exists in two universes in the comics, too. So he's got his very R-rated adult-themed comics, and then he's also in the main Marvel universe.
Yeah, but...
So there's basically a PG-13 version and an R-rated version in the comics.
But again, you're kind of muddying the waters with this. There's two different versions of him.
The great thing would be if they had him... If he's fourth wall breaker, right? Anyway, if they put him in a regular Marvel universe, they could bleep out stuff he says, and he could even react to the bleep. Like, what's going on, right?
Yeah. I don't want... Here's the thing is, I don't want that in the MCU.
Yeah, exactly.
The same reason I don't want to see Squirrel Girl in the MCU. Because I personally don't like ridiculous characters that just totally disrupt the physics, I guess, of your world.
The reality of that.
Yeah. I mean, you establish rules within your universe that make sense in that universe. Yes, they're fantastic, and you've got Gods of Thunder and Hulks and stuff like that, but you make consistent rules that they have to obey. I don't like it when you...
Breaking the fourth wall is a big step from... People will point to Thor Ragnarok going, well, that was kind of goofy and it's funny and it worked. But there's a big step from that to breaking the fourth wall.
Correct, yeah.
And addressing the audience or addressing the fact that you're in a movie or that kind of thing. Yeah. That, it works for Doom Patrol, it works for Deadpool, not so much for the MCU.
Yeah.
I want Deadpool to be an ancillary what-if story
just
to the Marvel universe.
Keep him in his own universe.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have no problem with Marvel characters interacting in the Deadpool movie. Like if they have kind of like they did with the X-Men. They had, the scenes with Fassbender and McAvoy and all those guys, or all the next cast, just one brief scene.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have a problem if they, whatever actor was from Marvel or whatever, wanted to be in a Deadpool movie or whatever, have them in the Deadpool movie, but not exist in the other, a what-if tale on its own. I don't mind Marvel in Deadpool. I don't want my Deadpool in Marvel.
Correct.
So that's that. As for the Venom, I have to agree with you. I don't think Kevin Feige would ever allow this to happen.
No.
Maybe if, Venom was a better movie.
Well, and
I don't know.
I don't think even if it had been a great movie, I think he's a purist and he would want to introduce Venom as a symbiote in a Spider-Man movie.
Well, yeah.
And then separate Spider-Man from the symbiote to build that relationship.
To have Venom.
To have the relationship between Spider-Man and Venom. Because right now, why would you put Venom in a Spider-Man movie? There's no relationship. Why not put him in a Thor movie or in a Hulk movie? Or, put him in whatever kind of movie, because he's got just as much connection to all of them as he does to Spider-Man at this point.
Plus, I don't think he would want Sony to have that big of foothold in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And what's going on with the MCU.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think, but if this is true, this rumor is true, it means probably there's more long-term deal with Sony.
Yeah.
Than we thought. Because really, there's only one more movie after Far From Home comes out.
Yeah.
In a month. There's one more movie after that, Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then he goes back to Sony, unless there's another deal in the works. We haven't heard any rumor of any deal going on. But if Venom was to show up, that would be, it would have to mean that. So, and we've already gone over, what should Deadpool be introduced in the MCU? How should he be introduced in the MCU? We're pretty much on its own. Should keep him separate.
Keep him separate. In my opinion, keep him separate.
Yeah.
He's fantastic as he is. You don't
let him reference the movies. Let him, like I said, let some of the heroes appear in his movie. But
heck, at this point, totally separate him from the X-Men. Even though we got the X-Men.
Yeah.
Totally separate him from the X-Men and let him reference that. Hey, where'd they go?
Yeah, where'd they?
And then who are all these other heroes I'm hearing about? You know, just kind of be self-referential that way, and just stick to his fun stories, and because he doesn't need to be in any of those stuff. He's not going to benefit from being in those movies, and they're not going to benefit from him being in those movies. There's no necessarily huge upside to including him. They're going to do fine either way. Just keep them separate, and both will do well, and you're not going to have to worry about any problems you might create.
Okay.
My opinion.
No, I got to agree with you there. Keep Deadpool separate, and keep Venom keep them both out of my MCU.
Now, I could see the argument that if including Venom in a Spider-Man movie is the cost of keeping Tom Holland for 3 more movies, okay.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'll pay that price.
Yeah.
Because he's fantastic. I never thought I'd say this. He's the best Spider-Man ever, in my opinion.
He's the best of both worlds, as where Tobey Maguire was a great Peter Parker and Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man. Yeah, he's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, he is the epitome of what Spider-Man should be.
Yes, I agree. And he's got Queen's accent. So, all right. So Far From Home comes out July 3rd, first week of July. Something like that.
No, July. Oh wait, maybe.
Yeah, it got moved up. It got moved up before the holiday weekend.
July 3rd is a Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, I think it comes out on a Wednesday.
Because the 4th is a Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So we'll see. That's the big in-game booster there. Spider-Man, Far From Home. What are the movies that come out this summer? Are you excited about anything that's coming out? I know we got Godzilla.
Men in Black. Men in Black International looks awesome.
That's 2 weeks.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth and I can't remember her name.
Valkyrie?
Valkyrie, yeah. They have fantastic chemistry. The previews make that look hilarious.
Yes.
I love Chris Hemsworth's comedic chops.
He's great.
I can't wait to see it. It's
hilarious.
I think it'll be the standout of the summer. Spider-Man's
unfair to look that good and be that funny too.
Spider-Man's going to kick all the ass over the summer, but I think Men in Black International is going to be the standout. Wow, we didn't know it was going to be this good.
Right. So next month we got Godzilla this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Then Phoenix, which whatever.
Whatever.
Then Men in Black.
Yep.
Then Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
4. And Toy Story 4 is one of those things that you're like, hey, well, I have to see it.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I don't want it to exist.
Yeah,
but because it does, I have to see it.
so perfectly the last movie. Why are you doing another one? Yeah. But all right, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want Toy Story 4 to exist, but because it does, I have to see it.
Right.
One of those things. So,
and then,
Spider-Man,
Far From Home.
What else coming out later in the summer? Anything else?
Bunch of stuff I don't care about. I'm pretty sure.
Men in Black and Spider-Man. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember all of it, because when we went and saw Endgame, there were literally probably 12 previews before Endgame. Everybody wanted their people's eyes on their movies in front of Endgame.
Exactly.
But a lot of them were either horror movies or comedy movies that I don't, I don't see in the. I don't see comedies in that aren't, something like a spectacle like Men in Black International. Yeah. Just the average comedy movie. I don't go to the theaters to see it because it doesn't mean anything more on the big screen. When you can't, I guess with First I can whatever.
Yeah,
Rooster Teeth's is first.
It's a premiere.
No, it's
AMC,
Premiere AMC.
Whatever it is.
Maybe it is first. I don't know. Whatever their subscription service is.
So Ben says he can wait till it comes out on video. Is that going to be that Toy Story 4 or is that Men in Black or what are you talking about there?
I'm assuming he means Toy Story 4.
I'm going to assume too.
Yeah, I can't remember anything else that's coming out in the summer. It seems it's real front loaded.
Shane said he never saw Toy Story 3. You would remember. You would have cried.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would remember. It was pretty
blubbering, big fat man tears. Like
Lotso. Lotso. Is that Lotso or Lotsa? Lotso.
Yeah.
I think. Whatever. The bear.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
So what was the most? So the summer. Yeah, that's pretty sad. I can't remember past like June. I know through Spider-Man.
Yeah.
After that, I have no idea what's coming out.
And I'm trying to think. Yeah, there wasn't anything that was like stand out that you're just like, oh man, I've got to see this.
There's stuff coming out in the fall
that I can think of.
But there's, not.
Yeah, we'll look it up
when
later.
does Maleficent come out? Did that come out in the fall?
Nah, I don't care.
Lion King. You don't care. Did you like the first Maleficent?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
Could care less.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, Toy Story 4.
Yeah, that's one Disney live action that I was just like, whatever. I don't.
What about Lion King? Lion King comes out at the end of summer. Or is that, no, that's July. That comes out 2 weeks after Spider-Man.
Okay.
So
yeah, I am very curious about it. It looks pretty decent.
Are you curious about it because of your love for the Lion King the animated, or because this one actually looks good?
Yeah, partly because I love Lion King. It is in my top 5 definitely Disney movies of all time. I don't remember exactly where I'd put it, but I haven't thought that hard into it. But it is it's one of my tops. But it also harkens back to Jungle Book, which in my opinion was the best of the live actions. It kicked off these live action. Yeah, and it was the best.
It was really good.
So yeah, and I love the music in.
Yeah.
Did
you see Aladdin? Did you go see Aladdin?
I haven't seen Aladdin yet.
So you've got this AMC thing with movies.
I have it, but I have no time to go to movies. So it's one of those. I'd like to see more movies, but yeah. So
I don't know if I want to see Aladdin. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. Right? It looks good.
Yeah.
I hear that it's decent.
Yeah.
But I really love the animated, so I'm kind of like, Beauty and the Beast is my all-time favorite, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to see the movie for the longest time. I finally broke down and saw that movie a year after it came out, and I was like, I was good.
Yeah,
not as good as the animated, but it was good.
There is a definite split between people who are like purists, who are like, oh, these are garbage, these are trash, they're ruining them, and people who are just like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna, you've got to take a little, like, in an animated movie, you can hire a professional singer because you don't need a physical presence, and in a live action, you need both,
right?
And you can't always get that. And I thought Emily Watson did fine. She's not the best singer in the world, but she did a fine job. And I actually liked
on my bell.
I liked her as well. I thought she did a pretty good job.
She did fine. I just didn't. Again, I love the cartoon.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
That was my all-time favorite animated Disney movie. So.
Yeah, and I actually didn't mind the extra stuff they put in. It actually kind of rounded out. Like, why does this crazy inventor and his daughter live in this weird rural town?
Yeah.
Why would they be there?
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Well, all right. As far as The Lion King goes, it does look good. I can't wait to see it. However, the thing that bothers me most is that what makes this movie live action? It's not like they're not even shooting in like real places, right? It's all digital.
Yeah.
The whole thing. It's not like they went to Africa and like, all right, we'll just put CGI animals in here. No, it's all digital. The backgrounds.
Yeah.
And if you're going, what makes that any different than an animated movie? In fact, even getting James Earl Jones back to voice Mustafa, why didn't you get the original cast back?
Oh yeah.
It's all voice work, right?
Right.
No one's acting in this movie outside of the voice acting, right? Which we've already had an amazing voice acting cast. So not that I don't like the actors that are playing the new ones.
Yeah, the only person I can see as not being viable is the kid.
Yeah. Forget his name. Home Improvement kid.
Yeah, kid from Home Improvement.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, you're gonna have to recast the kids.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's just like, what makes this live action? Why is this a live action Disney movie?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's nothing live action about that movie.
That is true. Yeah.
So,
did you ever see Dumbo?
I did not see Dumbo.
The trailers made it look amazing because
Mhm.
it had an all-star cast that I was just like, I was floored by when I saw the preview.
Yeah.
When I saw the trailers and previews for it. I was
didn't
like,
do that well.
What?
But again, it was an older movie. It's not one that had the.
Yeah, it doesn't have a big following.
That generation that follows these. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah. Leave it to Ben to know
he knows the home improvement kid. Jesus, it is not live action. That is correct. It is not.
Yeah.
It's just a digitally animated movie.
Yeah. I guess it'd be more accurate to say a realistic. A more realistic versus animated.
I don't know. So we had Dumbo this year. Didn't do well because Dumbo was what, in the 30s?
Yeah, the 30s? Dumbo's is pretty old. It was one of the first movies Disney.
Now, as a kid, I love Dumbo, but it's sad, Dumbo's mother part. So
yeah,
I was like, I don't know if I want to see this. And then I just didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, I can wait for I can wait for it to come out. But then we still have Maleficent. We still have Lion King. Next year we have Mulan. And what's the other one? We've got two more.
101 Dalmatians.
Oh, it's the
Cruella. Yeah.
Yes. You excited for either one of those?
I am somewhat. I don't know that I've seen Mulan all the way through, so I don't really have a connection to that. But I like the actress who was the voice actor of Mulan, who I think they're getting to be in the live action in some form.
Yeah, not as Mulan, but.
I don't know what what role she's gonna play because she's too old to be Mulan.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. No, I mean, I pretty much like how I watch Disney movies in animated form, I will watch the ones in live action form based on whether or not I liked the movie before. I like Aladdin. I like the Renaissance movies for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in a lot of Disney movies that came before the Renaissance and not a lot that came after. Like Mulan was kind of late Renaissance, if not totally after the Renaissance. I'm not real sure about the positioning of all of them. So I was never into Mulan. I was past the point where I was like, oh yeah, Disney movies, sweet. So I like Jungle Book and I like Mary Poppins, but could care less about Lady and the Tramp, which I think they're talking about doing. I don't think they have a release date on it. But Lady and the Tramp, I wasn't really I've seen Dumbo. It was okay, but it didn't really hook me. So I'm like, whatever. I've never gone back and watched it. But I will watch all the Renaissance ones, Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King and Aladdin. And I'll just watch those, repeatedly.
With Aladdin, and I will point out one more thing before we get off the whole Disney subject here. But with, Aladdin and the expected for Lion King and all these other ones, plus when you factor in Endgame and Spider-Man and Captain Marvel and all this, Disney is set for a record year.
Oh yeah.
Money-wise, plus all the throwing all the Fox stuff in there, they really
yeah
everything to do with, but they're reaping the rewards. So
yeah, they are. Yeah, and with Galaxy's Edge opening, the parks are going to do amazing.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
It's going to be a stellar year for Disney.
Yeah,
don't worry about Disney. They're going to be doing okay. So was there a movie recently that came out this last year that really sucked that you were surprised? You were surprised by how bad it was? Last thing, we'll move on to that.
I'm trying to remember what came out this year. The
reason why I say this is because recently I just saw, and there's something we talked about over the holidays, the Holmes and Watson movie.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We're talking about we want to see that. It looks hilarious.
Yeah, it looks funny.
And those guys are great. That is so god awful. I couldn't finish it. I couldn't finish watching it.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff online about how awful it was.
Oh my god! I didn't even hear anything about it. I'm like, oh, it's a movie I missed. I'll check that out. I left the room when they were like,
Is this kind of like Adam Sandler levels of bad, where he just kept going down the same path but getting worse and worse at it?
Yeah,
kind of like Step Brothers and Talladega Nights, and you're just like, all right, you're going to the well too many times, and you're not doing it as well as you have before.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of feeling.
You're like, okay, Little Nicky wasn't as funny as some of the last ones, but had Dan Marino, so that was kind of funny. And then he gets one where he's playing him and his Jack and Jill, him and his sister. I'm like, okay, he's gone over the edge.
Yeah,
bring it back. Hellboy. You actually saw Hellboy, Ben? Come on, I saw that train wreck coming a mile away and avoided it. I was completely off the tracks. So that train missed me.
Yeah.
But Holmes and Watson was so bad. I left when they were like smearing shit all over each other. I came back to see if it, where we were, and they were trying to hump the dead queen into a trunk. And I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
I don't want to see an idiot Sherlock Holmes.
All right, yeah. No, but as far as movies I went and saw, I can't remember any that I thought, no, that was awful. Why'd I go see that?
Yeah, I just brought that up because I just recently saw the Holmes and Watson one, and I was just like, oh my god,
that's funny,
horrible. And then that's another thing where the critics could have saved me from that one if I paid attention to them, but I didn't.
Oh well,
All right, so let's move on to our small stories, our nerd nuggets, our geek bites.
Tell them to stop. Comments.
You guys love the nerd nuggets. All right, so here we go. First off, Disney Plus series WandaVision. This is the WandaVision.
Are they actually calling it that?
That's the name of it. One word, WandaVision.
All right.
That is the name of it. Is rumored to introduce Scarlet Witch's reality-altering powers, which, now that they actually they can actually make her a mutant now.
Mm-hmm.
You can retcon that because they actually have mutants. And this is going to take a major cues from Tom King's Vision Run. That's where they were in a suburban, because it's set in like a kind of a 1950s suburbia.
Yeah.
Which is what they. So in order to have Vision back, in order to be set in 1950s suburbia, it would have to have some kind of reality-altering powers.
Yeah. All right.
Which could lead to all kinds of like House of M and all kinds of cool stuff for.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, them having kids and all that kind of stuff, and you're like.
So they could have those guys on the Young Avengers because both their kids were on the Young Avengers.
What? Really?
Yeah. Yes, they were.
The Young Avengers existed before their kids ceased to exist.
Yeah, apparently they existed somehow. And
well, all right. I
don't know.
Remember that.
I haven't. It's in that period where I'm not following everything to the Marvel Universe. Like at one point, from 1984 to 1992, I could tell you everything that happened in the MCU, right? Comics-wise. There was a storyline that happened, some goofy thing in the corner of I could tell you exactly what happened. Mid-90s, I was old enough to drink. 90s are kind of a blur anyway. Yeah. I know I got a college degree and married some point in that 10 years. Other than that. But yeah, so what do you think of WandaVision introducing the Scarlet Witch reality-altering?
That part I don't mind. The part I'm going to mind is the movies Endgame gave no indication of her having any mental instability that would lead to. I don't know.
She was kind of. You see her when she attacked Thanos. And her powers definitely grew.
Yeah, but I mean, she was just angry, not like. And by the end, when she's talking to Hawkeye, she's perfectly calm and normal. There's no hint of any kind of desperation or anything like that would lead to, psychotic episode that has her bend reality to put herself in this idealistic. Because this is totally sounds like House of M.
Yeah.
I'm changing reality to.
The great thing about this could all be this limited series because it's only a 6-episode series, right?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Well, all of them are 6 episodes.
Got it. Okay.
But hour long, so it's 6 hours long. That's 3 movies worth of.
Yeah, they'll have to do something to introduce that. You can't just go.
Yeah. Well, 6 hours is plenty enough time to delve into that. But the great thing about it is the whole thing could take place in her little pocket universe or whatever,
right?
And not affect anything major. But I like those characters, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I just, story-wise, I have some issues with it just kind of popping out of nowhere.
Right.
So they got to do a good job of explaining what's going on or painting a picture of how this happened. So.
Right.
But all right.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Trailer. We got a trailer to for Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance.
Yeah, did you get to see the trailer?
I did not get to see it yet. I saw that it was on there, but I was driving, so I couldn't take the time to watch it. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. It looked the old one-eyed lady in there.
Oh, good. All right, the witch with
I mean, it looked look like Dark Crystal. I mean,
Yeah.
it's how you look like Jim Henson.
Well, it's going practical,
Yeah, it's all practical.
Muppets and all that
They
kind of
even
stuff.
had the guys on stilts for the animals they ride.
Mm-hmm.
So it looked really good. I mean, on the side, if you're a Dark Crystal fan, so
are the Skeksis back in power?
Well, this is a prequel.
Oh, it's a prequel. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Rise of Resistance. So there's a lot of Gelflings. They're not down to only 2 Gelflings. There's a bunch. So
that's right. I remember that now.
So yeah, there's a. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of excited for this. I mean, especially because we just watched last year. We watched Dark Crystal with Kirsten for Does It Hold Up?
Yeah.
Episode. So I was gonna ask her about that. What you thought about this? Because she liked the Dark Crystal. So
yeah. I mean, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they. This is gonna be a show, right?
Yes.
And
Netflix,
which network? It's on Netflix. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, which network is it? Is it one I have?
Yeah. Well, we just figured between us, we have access to all of them. We just gotta, figure out
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
All
right. So for those of you upset about having your sparkly Batman,
me.
Yeah.
I'm in it.
Slow down a little bit here. Oh, hang on. I need to. Can you hand me the cord for the? It's running low. We don't want to lose our live stream.
Oh no! The microphone is on top of the cord. Technical difficulties.
We should have some kind of a.
That's our
screen.
Please stay tuned message.
There we go.
Well,
boom.
All right. So one more thing we have to improve next week. Actually plug in the computer.
Yep. All right. So yeah, Robert Pattinson may not be the Batman.
He might be not set in it.
Not set. Remember, it was just rumors he was a front runner. Okay. However, Nicholas Hoult is in the running and being screen tested now. Now Nicholas Hoult is he's Beast in the new X-Men. He's in Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
He was in Mad Max Fury Road as the.
I didn't see that.
You ever saw Fury Road? Oh no. My God, one of the best movies ever. You ever seen that?
No, I have not.
Wow. All right, no, we have to get Doug to watch. Yeah. But yeah, so Nicholas Hoult is he's also he's Tolkien in the Tolkien movie, right?
Oh, is he? Yeah. That's good.
I know he's in a lot of stuff. He's a good actor.
See, I'm only picturing him as Beast. I'm like, oh, that nerdy kid is going to be Bruce Wayne? What? All right.
Yeah. So
it's still better than Robert Pattinson, but
neither one of them are built like Bruce Wayne would imagine Bruce Wayne to be. Yeah. But I don't know. And the thing is, Robert Pattinson, I'm sure he's a good actor. He's been in a lot of things since. Nothing I've really seen, but I've heard he's really good. And he's been in several good things. But I just picture every time I see him, I'm picturing Twilight. So Nicholas Hoult, I don't understand again. Now I have a hard time picturing him as well. But I don't know. Either one of these does nothing for me to really get excited about this movie.
No.
So, especially how we have no idea how the DC.
Yeah, that's it. I am totally unenthused about most DC movies.
Despite the fact that Shazam was good and
until
Aquaman was good.
I see a preview for the specific movie, I've got nothing to hang my hat on there.
Yeah.
I want to see Wonder Woman. I want to see the next Aquaman. And I want to see the next Shazam because they all knocked it out of the park. But anything else, I'm just kind of like, I don't trust you until you show me you can do something good with these characters.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to prove themselves at pretty much every turn. Now they have 3 hits and 3 misses now.
True.
So, hey, who knows? All right. New Gods hires Tom King to co-write the screenplay with Ava DuVernay.
Tom King? DC Comics Tom King?
I don't know.
One of the best writers they have? Yeah, he is.
He's a current writer.
He's currently working on a Batman title. He did one of the best Swamp Thing stories since Alan Moore.
Okay.
He's really good. So I can see because before I was like, okay, Ava DuVernay, she's a good director. Just know about comics though, especially New Gods. It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, plus we also had the last movie that didn't turn out too well, Wrinkle in Time,
Oh, okay.
which I'm like,
I started thinking about this when we were talking about New Mutants and Dark Phoenix and stuff like that. If they do the New Gods set in the past, where they're actually the because in the comics they are the kind of inspiration for the Greek and Roman myths and stuff like that. The New Gods are they they live on Olympus and they've got this advanced society and stuff like that. If you do it like that, you can actually introduce somebody like an Apocalypse in that time frame, or the contact with aliens and stuff like that. You can kind of start painting that picture in the background. It'd be interesting,
right? Especially because with an Eternals movie and a New God movie coming out, again, first.
I'm talking Eternals versus Eternals, New Gods is DC.
Yeah, you're like.
they are the same thing.
They're the same thing, right?
Although
I kind of like Orion better than Icarus, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'm normally a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
But as far as the main heroes on either side go, Orion is a New Gods hero. Icarus is his counterpart in Marvel's Eternals. So, yeah.
The New Gods, the New Gods are, I think, quite a bit more compelling.
They're the first. They were Jack Kirby's first.
Yeah.
And then basically Eternals are his copy of those when he went back to Marvel.
Yeah.
So
the New Gods just have a more compelling story with the
yeah. And both of them lead to the big bads in each universe. So Darkseid comes from New Gods and Thanos from Eternals.
Right.
So
the offshoot, the Titan Eternals, which are Titans actually Titan the Mutant of Jupiter, not some other planet out there named Titan. But whatever. We don't need to worry about that, the retconning of that. But
most of you have no idea what we're talking about any of this because no one really reads New Gods or Eternals unless you're a hardcore comic geek. There's two big budget movies coming out.
The only thing the New Gods I think currently have any connection to the current DC universe is through just occasional appearances. Mr. Miracle, if you read his comic.
Yeah.
Mr. Miracle and Big Barda. Metron showing up every once in a while.
Big Barda's an awesome character.
She is, yeah.
I'm a Marvel guy, but the DC the New Gods.
I'm not.
Better.
I was never a big fan of reading the New Gods in their universe. They're just in their comic.
Yeah.
But them as guest stars around in different books always were pretty cool. Like Metron's one of my favorite kind of ancillary characters. A guy who rides around in a chair that gives him all knowledge in the universe.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. And Batman gets to sit on the chair once.
So what do you think of Tom King coming in helping?
I don't really know him, but that's cool if they've got somebody who's currently
he knows the DC universe.
The DC universe.
He's a really good writer. So
that's cool.
I'm a little more excited about the movie.
I like when you bring actual comic book writers into comic book movies. So
yeah. Okay.
Either as a writer or as a producer. So.
All right. So after initial reports of the Suicide Squad being a complete reboot, we get word of yet another actor reprising their role in the reboot, sequel, tangent, whatever movie this is.
Whatever DC is nowadays.
Whatever DC is now, yeah. So Joel Kinnaman will reprise his role as the team leader, Rick Flag, joining Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Amanda Waller, Jai Courtney's Boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
What's Amanda Waller's actress?
I don't know, but she's amazing as Amanda
awesome.
Waller, so I'm glad they kept her.
Oh,
she was a perfect
Viola
Amanda
Davis.
Waller. Yeah, that's it, Viola Davis.
Yes.
All right. Yes, she was
Beat
so good as Amanda Waller.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
And
super glad they kept her.
So what does this mean?
And
Doug?
I thought he was fine as Rick Flag, so I'm glad they killed.
I know, but what does this mean for the movie, though? Right?
I don't know. They don't know.
They don't know.
They exist in this weird bubble of where each movie is its own thing and can take or give as much connection to previous movies or not. Who knows? They could use the same characters and pretend like they never met before.
How's Jai Courtney going to feel if Boomerang takes a backseat to like Ratcatcher? Poor Jai Courtney.
But yeah, I am only excited for this movie because of James Gunn.
Yeah.
I otherwise could care less.
Right.
I am, like
Pretty
I said, I am
right there.
sick of the DC universe just willy-nilly.
I think the final straw might be for me if the rumors are true about Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And was it Trevor?
Oh yeah, Chris Pine coming back.
Chris Pine coming back is just like, it's just a new story. That guy's a different one. He lives in this time now. He lives in the 80s.
Yeah.
If they do that, that might be the final straw that Grace Campbell's back. I might be done with DC at that point until they figure out what they're doing with their universe. How do you have the most popular comic book characters in the world? And then how do you lose your Superman and your Batman? I don't know. We'll have a whole other topic of discussion is the DCFU.
Yeah. The appropriately named.
Yeah. All right, Doug. Close us out here. What do we got?
Well, I am going to add one story on that we don't have here. All right, spoilers. If you don't want to know what's going on in the comics for Amazing Spider-Man number 22, they started numbering again on this one apparently. Yeah. I don't even know why we give the spoiler alert. Yeah, characters come and go so often that.
I'll go into the details about this one.
Amazing Spider-Man number 22 is killing off a major legendary character who has already been killed off once before, but has apparently come back. Kraven, who was killed before in the Grim Hunter storyline, will be killed by Spider-Man.
Kind of.
Not
really. Not really. Here's a story. So Grim Hunter, who's killed, and he comes back, and he's been cursed, so he can only die by Spider-Man's hands. But only Spider-Man has to kill him. So he's immortal otherwise. So he's been goading, in the comics, he's been goading Spider-Man to try and kill him for a while now here. And doing everything he can to try and get him. And he comes to the realization that he's not going to do it. So he figures the only way to have Spider-Man kill him is to become Spider-Man. And that means in all aspects. So he dons the black suit again, which he did in a famous storyline in the past.
Yeah.
Pretending to be, but not just pretend to be, actually be good, do good, go out there. So he's with Spider-Man. And he tricks his son into killing him. So I don't know how this works. So anyway, how that works as for Spider-Man killing him off to satisfy the curse. But apparently it works. And he's dead now for however till the next story they need Kraven for. Like I said, it's comics. No one ever dies in comics.
Yeah. I thought, and he stayed dead for a pretty good long time.
He
did.
He did. But
it's too bad.
So there you have it, folks.
All right.
You have another story for
One
us.
last story. Just talk quickly about Galaxy's Edge. Had the official opening ceremonies. I think it was last night. Attended by Bob Iger, who introduced George Lucas, who talked about how amazing the land is. Thought it was super immersive.
Yeah.
And then he brought out Billy D. Williams, who. He was having a rough time. He's walking with a cane, had some trouble enunciating. But anyways, he described how grateful he was to be Lando and thanking George Lucas and talking about how good the Falcon does because they were doing this whole ceremony in front of the Millennium Falcon at night. So it's all lit up.
Nice.
Then they bring out Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill talks about how great it is to interact with the fans and he took a dig at Rian Johnson because it's like, it was great being the most positive and hopeful character, speaking of hope or something like that. So I was like, that's awesome. That's totally a dig at Rian Johnson there. Then they had like somebody dressed up as Chewie in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. So, Mark Hamill's like, all right, start her up, Chewie. And they do the classic from Empire Strikes Back where the engines kind of and die. And they're like, oh no, what? This is very embarrassing, blah, blah, blah. So then they're like, oh, do we know somebody who can fix this? Lights go out and you hear Harrison Ford talk about, she may not be pretty, but this is the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy or something like that. So Harrison Ford actually participated in the ceremonies, which you'd think you'd think he'd be like, no, keep me away from Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, he went up there and they kind of, oh yeah, Harrison Ford. And they're like, oh, can you help us out here? So he went over to bang on the Millennium Falcon. He goes, this is for you, Peter. And then you know, hit it, and they started up the Falcon, although they started it up before he actually hit it. So they missed their cue there. But it was pretty nice. You know, he gave a little shout out to Peter Mayhew. So that was nice.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, but it looked amazing.
Super stoked for this, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't wait. It's one of those things that it's crazy. It's going to be crazy for a while. Yeah. So like I said last week, I think we're going to wait until around my birthday next year, you know, September, October timeframe, and then probably try and go and see how many people we can get to go.
Yeah.
Just make a trip of it.
Sounds like a plan.
Go build lightsabers, build droids.
Awesome.
You can get a Salacious Crumb.
Oh yeah.
Well, they call it whatever they're something lizards. I can't remember.
It's a
monkey lizard.
Yeah.
Something monkey lizard.
Rinky monkey lizard.
Yeah. Yep. So you can get one of those, and they actually sit on your shoulders. They kind of hang on your shoulders, like they did something with that with the Avatar. Land of Pandora, you could get a banshee, like a mini banshee that's out on your shoulder, I think. So yeah, you can get one of those. You can get blue milk or green milk.
Blue or green milk.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's lots of cool stuff.
I take my cues from Luke. I only drink green milk right from the teat. So, all right, guys. That does it for another episode of the Grizzled Geek Podcast, episode 2, on time and with intros and everything and better sound.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Can only imagine what next week's going to bring.
Yeah, get the word out
improvements there. So yeah, tell your friends. If you can, join us live every Thursday, 6:30 Mountain Standard Time.
Nope, Pacific right now.
Well, I guess
Arizona time. Look it up because it changes. It changes twice a year.
That's true.
So
we don't change, but everyone else does. Also, if you can't catch it live on Thursday, Friday, well, actually.
Later on Thursday night,
it'll be up on YouTube, so you can watch it at your leisure. Or it'll be up on our where you get your podcast from, either Stitcher or
iTunes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, I think that's what we've got it on.
Okay, you got it. So that'll be up on Saturday. Ready for that? So please like, subscribe, share with your friends. We're trying to get our subscriber count up. So come to that subscriber drive.
Yeah.
Tell everybody. Let everybody know. Really appreciate it. And if you want to support us and the channel and the things that we do here, Doug, how can they help us out?
When the YouTube video goes live or goes up later, we'll actually go and edit the description, which will have 3 links in it. But check us out on teespring.com/The Grizzled Geek. You can check out our Patreon. Yeah, it's patreon.com/The Grizzled Geek. Or our Amazon affiliate link, which is in the description of any of our videos. So if you go and click that link and then do your shopping from there, you don't have to buy what it links to. Any shopping you do after you click that link and then you complete the purchase within 24 hours, we get a small kickback for it. So just whenever you're going to shop through Amazon, take a moment to go find one of our videos, click on that link, and it helps us out. It's the easiest way for you to help us.
All right, guys. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Oh, it's been so long since they turned away. They got so used to saying no. You met that pretty girl and she earned her stay. She said she loved you long ago. I guess I'll keep on trying till I'm sick of lying. You got a new car and you got a new house, and everybody likes you now. Oh, everyone likes you and you're over the crowd. It's their problem now. Everybody likes you now. Oh,